You join us in a disused Welsh quarry where we've come to drive a prototype version of the Jaguar F-Pace, a new SUV to rival the likes of the BMW X3 and the Porsche Macan. However, it being January in South Wales, then obviously it is hammering down with rain and blowing an absolute hoolie. It's freezing cold and the mud has pretty much done for my nice expensive shoes. So without further ado, let's cut to some voiceover.
Walters Arena near Neath is just one of the many locations around the world where Jaguar's engineers have been testing and developing the F-Pace. We've been invited down to drive the prototype so we can see how it copes with a range of off-road scenarios and get a feel for how it drives in general. According to Jaguar, the F-Pace isn't an SUV in its conventional sense. The company calls it a performance crossover, which has been designed to give the agile, sporty handling that Jaguar's products are famous for, but with some of the ruggedness and all-terrain ability of an SUV thrown in. To that end, it has a four-wheel drive system that sends all the torque to the back axle under normal conditions for that classic Jaguar feel. But once wheel slip is detected, it can send up to 50% of the drive up to the front wheels. It also has clever traction systems derived from those found in Land Rover products, along with variable driving characteristics that can be individually configured by the driver. And, like all modern Jaguars, much of the car is made from aluminium to make it as light and as rigid as possible.
Now, we're not allowed to drive the car on tarmac or anything approximating an actual road, only on these muddy tracks. But even here, you can really tell that the car has the essential character that Jaguar always set out to achieve. With all the off-road systems dialed up to maximum, this car feels really, really assured. This surface we're on now is a mixture of gravel and mud, and even at this speed, about 45 miles per hour, it feels stable and secure and assured. Throughout today, we've also done quite a bit of other hardcore off-roady stuff, and okay, it's not a Land Rover Discovery, but you might be quite surprised about what the F-Pace can achieve in the mud. More importantly for a Jaguar though, you can really feel that rear drive bias when you stick the car in dynamic mode. On a surface this slippery, all you need is a boot full of throttle to get yourself going sideways in pretty spectacular fashion, but importantly, it's really controlled and adjustable. Steering's partly responsible for that because it really fills you with confidence. It's a little bit light, I grant you, but it's progressive, it's direct, and it is absolutely packed with feel, so you always know where your front wheels are. This car also has the optional adaptive dampers that change their behaviour along with pretty much everything else when you play around with the driving modes. But they keep the body really well tied down whatever mode you happen to be in, and that all adds to the feeling of sharpness and agility. Now obviously it's tough to make any really useful assessment of the car's ride comfort on a surface like this, but for what it's worth, as far as we can tell, it feels reasonably forgiving and supple. And what with everything that's going on, rain smashing against the windscreen and gravel hitting the underside of the car, the exterior noises sound really well isolated, so it should be a very refined car as well. The engine in this car is an absolute peach. It's the 3-litre V6 diesel with 296 brake horsepower and 517 pounds-foot of torque. It's creamily smooth and it works really nicely with this automatic gearbox. For the time being, it's tough to say exactly where the F-Pace slots in to the SUV market. In an ideal world, it would be sportier than a Macan and comfier than an X3, but we won't know whether it is or not until we've driven it on a proper road. What we can say for sure, however, is that the initial signs look very encouraging indeed.